Two, one. Our final stop is Niedhardt Hall, which is right behind me. Niedhardt Hall was a previously used dormitory for students at the University of Nebraska that was recently closed for renovation and reallocation of university resources. Most notably, it is going to become a student center for all the students and playing pool and ping pong, and it is even believed that there will be a new sort of smaller rec center here. Originally built in 1932 as Raymond Hall, Niedhardt was a women's-only dormitory used by the university for, as stated earlier, only women. They would come to this dormitory, and on top of learning school and learning their majors, they would also learn how to do things like keep the house, cook, clean, basic 1930s things for women, and not having very many rights back then. But it wasn't its only use. In the 1930s and 1940s, Niedhardt was used in tandem as a polio ward during various outbreaks that would occur before the polio vaccine was developed in 1955. As polio was a deadly disease before the vaccine, around 15 to 30% fatal in adults and around 2 to 5% in children, naturally people would die while admitted to Niedhardt. Even if you didn't die from the disease, you were more likely to be doomed to a fate many would consider worse than death. Paralysis of limbs and loss of motor function was a common after effect of polio, and in some cases an iron lung was needed. An iron lung was a negative pressure chamber that would assist the ailed person in breathing by forcing air into the lungs by pulling on their chest. This was a permanent addition to someone's life. They would never be able to leave the iron lung until they died. And the most notable man, he was the last polio survivor, and he died in around 2018. He was condemned to an iron lung at the age of 8, and he lived the rest of his life until his mid-70s in an iron lung. When the polio vaccine was developed, the need for polio wards decreased, and by the mid-1950s, Niedhardt was no longer used as a ward and was converted back into a female dormitory only. In 1973, however, Niedhardt was renamed to Niedhardt from Raymond as the university allowed males to live within it. In 2019, Niedhardt Hall was closed for renovation and is currently being reallocated as a student center instead of a dormitory. Though it is no longer used for polio, students or workers report hearing disembodied voices and even apparitions around the hall. Most notably, a little girl is commonly seen walking the halls only to disappear when she enters a room. Another one is in around 2011, some students walked into the basement of Niedhardt Hall and they found a fully furnished coffin that was empty yet completely ready for a funeral. And when they came back after alerting their RA or the adult in this situation, the coffin was completely gone and it almost seemed like it had never been there. Back to the girl, though, it is believed that she is a victim of polio and wanders the halls in search of her parents or even a person to call her friend. Now, with the friend, that could very well be you. You just have to figure out when you explore this building.